This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, we're going to talk about Canelo Alvarez. Hear me and hear me well. This is the new series, man. DuckTales. Woo. DuckTales. Woo. DuckTales. Woo. If anybody watched that cartoon growing up, know what I'm talking about, man. DuckTales was the shit. Well, in this case, Cinnamon Alvarez is not the shit. So hear me and hear me well. Let's get right up in it. This man has had catchweights after catchweights after catchweights. He's a catchweight king. Julio Cesar Chavez, first one on the block. First one up. Let's go for the pitch. Let's see. He fought him at 164 pounds instead of 168. You tried to strip this man of 4 extra pounds. We all know the intel on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He could barely make 168 pounds because of his party lifestyle. The apple has not fallen too far from the tree. The man has basically inherited all of his dad's partying ways. He just didn't inherit his dad's boxing abilities. Which his dad's boxing abilities, that's neither here nor there. I could talk about it in another conversation. It's not really all that. But the son is basically, in terms of boxing ability, has fallen way far from the tree. But this guy barely can make 168. Then you drain him to 164. Come on, man. That's not even a fair fight. No one wants to talk about that. So we all know how that fight ended up. Now let's talk about Triple G. Back in 2015, you wanted this guy to be 155 pounds. This was what you were negotiating prior to eventually us knowing in history that you had 2 fights with him at 160. But prior to all of that, no one talks about this. 2015, he wanted to have a catch weight at 155. 5 pounds less than what Triple G was fighting at. I mean, it's ridiculous. Triple G was already comfortable at 160 for a minute. But you want to drain him? Come on, man. Because you knew that at that time, he was still kind of in his prime and you were afraid to get KO'd. Come on, man. We all know the story. What ended up happening? He waited until he aged Triple G at the right time. He ducked him until he aged at the right time to finally fight him at a real weight class, 160. But people forget that. What was initially negotiated from Oscar de la Hoya and company, because they were afraid for Cinnamon Dust Alvarez, is they didn't want him fighting at 160. So they wanted a catch weight at 155. Both him and Bernard Hopkins. Come on, man. And their justification for it is, oh, he's the A-side. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. Now let's get to Danny Jacobs. Paid to lose. Why do you think I said paid to lose? They wanted this man to make weight at 170 pounds in the re-weight, right? In the time for him to re-weight himself prior to the fight. But they knew he weighed 173.6. Come on, are you freaking kidding me? Did the man really deserve to be fined $1 million? But his cult-like followers going to say, man, he's an IBF fighter. He should follow the rules. Blah, 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 blah. That's what these cult-like followers do. They want to come with nonsense. But what they don't understand is what was negotiated was was a confidential catch weight. You see, this is why I'm bringing this up. Go do y'all research, man. They negotiated a confidential catch weight at 170 for him to re-weigh in, because they knew Daniel Jacobs was not going to make that cut at 170 because he's a bigger guy. He blows up. He made the weight for the fight, but they knew his ass was going to blow up way more than that. Come on, man. When fighters drink fucking fluids and they eat, they put on 5 pounds. Come on, man. And then if they have a meal, shit, they might put on 10 or more. Just in doing that. Now imagine when they get a chance to rehydrate for a few days and shit like that. See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Let alone 24 hours. We've heard fighters that put on 10 pounds overnight. But they want to sit here and find a man $750,000 in a confidential catch weight. See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. How many catch weight fights does this guy have to have? This is a catch weight king, right? Now let's talk about Amir Khan. You knew Amir Khan was already severely at a disadvantage at 140 pounds coming up. But no, you don't want him coming up 2 weight classes. You want him 2 weight classes in a pound? 155? So you mean to tell me you couldn't KO him at 154 pounds? Because you were fighting at 155. So you had to do this catch weight at 155. See, this is the brain full of mush and brainwash dodo head stuff the cult-like followers don't want to hear. You know what I'm saying? They want to pull this narrative to you, and they want to get you to understand that, oh, you know, here's the excuse why he did this. Here's the excuse why he did that. You're going to see that in the comment section. And now we get to Sergey Kovalev. You seriously think Sergey Kovalev said, him and his team said, oh yeah, we're willing to fight a catchweight? No, they're saying that because behind closed doors, the Oscar De La Hoya and the Canelo Alvarez put in their head, look, man, we'll fight you, but it's going to be a catchweight. You seriously think all of these years that Sergey Kovalev fought at 175, he's going to want to drain himself? What kind of brain full of mush and brainwash dodo head stuff is that? But his cult-like followers going to say, but you see, what are you talking about, you dumbass? Sergey Kovalev came out and said he's willing to fight. Yes, after the fact. Who put that in his head? You don't think they did their intel, him and Kathy Duva, for main events? You don't know they realized they're the B side? Every time Canelo Alvarez has been the A side in these big major fights, he's always talking about some catchweight nonsense. If he did that shit to Triple G, who's a well more bigger name than Sergey Kovalev, how the hell you think he wasn't going to do that to Sergey Kovalev? You seriously think he's going to allow Sergey Kovalev to have all of the advantage and fight him at really 175? Come on, folks. Y'all can't be dodo heads. Y'all can't be brain full of mush and brainwash followers. No, that wouldn't do that, because you know why? It would put Canelo Alvarez at a disadvantage. Hence is the name Cinnamon Dust. Because that's what he is, man. His boxing career is mired in controversy. And this guy has catchweights after catchweights after catchweights. Hence the name Catchweight King. So DuckTales Part 1 goes to who? Canelo Cinnamon Dust Alvarez. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.